Today we're playing Dying Light 2, and we're going into a new game because I stupidly deleted my others. We start out like every YouTube short, if Dream was late for the bus, however this world doesn't seem so blocky. After making this massive jump I realised I don't have my water bucket on me, however I just grab the ledge and look as all of the boomers go crashing down. Thank God they don't have sticky hands, as when I get to the top I see this man on a ledge and I quickly tell him not to do it. I run up there as quickly as possible as I want to be the first to jump. I jump to the same cliff he is and surprisingly he helps me up. I guess he was too scared to jump first and wanted me to see what it was like. We learn his name is Spike and him and Aiden seem to be best buds. He even takes me to his secret stash of honey and I take this because I need it for hibernation. He orders me to go and collect honey and chamomile and I can't say no to that bold head. After collecting all of them he leads me to this massive house. We break in and search for valuables in their home. After looking around I break a vase. This makes me cry because that's £50 gone down the drain. Spike tells me he have to go, however I'm more depressed that I wasn't invited to this party. When we enter another room we see a bunch of dead people, and a note that says I'm sorry Dave. This makes me really sad because she could have chose someone better than Dave. We find more dead, this time a boomer in a noob position. How cringe. Next to a dead couple we find a picture of them, however they look nothing alike, can't see any resemblance. After jumping around naked in the pool I find a suicide note and make sure to copy some of this for mine. We meet Spike on the roof and he passes me a drink. He tells me about a guy on the radio and I pretend like I know what he's talking about. I ask him to deliver dick pics to someone called Gary. The internet doesn't work anymore so they're pretty much extinct. After telling me to go to a radio tower we part our different ways. I'm partial to drowning but he isn't. So in rage I take my anger out on zombies. I guess these people are the owners of the lake house. So after getting their approval I head on in. I find scraps which gets me really excited. I go up the expert's hiking trail. I find someone lost and happily give them directions. However, realising they're lost, they decide to jump off the cliff. After more challenges on this hiking trail, I get to my destination. However, the slimy zombie's guarding it. I'm jealous of its springy legs, so when I get the chance I beat the shit out of it. I turn on the lawnmower-like generator and that powers out the house, so I can finally get in the front door. However, once I go in, I see some spilled food. After unlocking the door, I see a missed opportunity and wonder why the developers didn't try to rickroll us. After finding my bed, I decide to sleep. I dream about being awoken by a hot mama, but before I can make a move we are interrupted by the doctor. He leads us to a waiting room and when he re-enters he decides which one he wants to kiss. He eventually picks me and while I'm flattered I don't want to kiss a middle-aged man. However this is about the doctor's pleasure so I go along with it. When I'm tied down the doctor injects me. Thank God it's in the arm. I wake up kissing the air and immediately have to change the sheets. I chat with the guy on the radio and he wants to meet me in an abandoned metro tunnel. Kind of sus, however I go along because I haven't got some in a while. On the way I find these zombies and put them all in a pile of dead bodies. After celebrating one victory I arrive at the metro tunnel. After running along the tracks I am ambushed. I am disappointed as I had high hopes for what the guy might look like. However, what yellow eyes he had. We find the real person and he proceeds to check me out and I think he likes what he sees. But we start to turn. After we find him we see he's being beaten up by this goon. I tried to lighten the mood, however I don't think he's a fan of knock-knock jokes. When he doesn't laugh I hit his face with a bat. This guy proceeds to tell me that I'm the most handsome man he's ever met. That gives me a confidence boost and I am able to defeat all of these enemies. After he locks me in a vent. I didn't know it was this kind of relationship. After this freak sees I'm in here I have to run, and I escape up this ladder. These people seem stunned by my good looks, however I start to turn. They proceed to hang me and I start to run out of air. However, I am saved by this guy who introduces himself as Hakon. He injects me and just like the doctor, I'm glad it's on the arm. After running violently at a woman, I'm hit with a baseball bat. Hakon still agrees to help me.
What next? Maybe we should draw him a bath.
Sounds pretty cozy to me, ladies. Maybe next time.
Yes, Hakon.
She adores me.
Hakon leads us outside to this incredible view, and this reinforces why I play Dying Light 2. While following him along the rooftops, I almost fall on him. Honestly, that wouldn't be such a bad thing. I find a crystal and Hakon says he deals them out. Thank God they can't go up your nose.
Among Us.
We open a chest to see there's nothing inside, however I impress Hakon by getting these electrical parts. I fight off these zombies for good fun, and then Hakon bribes Killian with these nerdy electrical parts. This lowers my respect for Killian, as he actually takes the offer. Gee, what a nerd. After we get into Killian's house, I sleep. God, I hate children. We get a call from Hakon telling him to meet us at the GRE hospital. When we get there we learn how to lockpick, however I am already an expert, because I steal light bulbs in people's chandeliers every Sunday. As we go through these doors I remember my first acts of vandalism. We find a bunch of sleeping zombies, and as Hakon creeps past, I really want to sabotage him, as he is my #1 competitor with the ladies. After sneaking past the zombies, me and Hakon jump down an elevator, but I fall down to the first floor. I see this guy, and that guy, and then have to crawl around here undetected. After I make it out, I remember stealing ice cream as a kid. This lets me kick down the door open because I'm a sweet tooth. No ice cream in sight, but at least there's an inhibitor. This helps me get back up to Hakon, and he christens me as citizen of Villador. I start to turn and have to get into the light immediately. After getting out into the light, one dives at me. Hakon beats it up and then gives me binoculars. I go exploring as free roam in Dying Light 2 is the best thing ever. I find some zombies guarding the chest and decide to kill them. I also find some humans guarding the chest, so I kill them. I find some people on the rooftop. Someone is stung by a bee.
Not you, the bee.
After taking pity, I decide to reap the world of their foul existence. However, one was a bit more difficult. After killing them, I went to a forsaken store where I found a volatile. I looted as much as I could and got some electrical parts. I found a military convoy and then saved this civilian. I found a tower and a GRE anomaly. I went to the bazaar and bought some new gear. I found a parkour challenge and decided to try it. First I went to the left where I got onto these roofs. From there I jumped over to the bridge and got to the first checkpoint. I headed left towards the scaffolding and jumped onto the next set of rooftops. From there I swung to the second checkpoint. I fell into this pile of rubbish and then traversed up to the next checkpoint. I continued along the next few rooftops and then descended down to the last one where the checkpoint was waiting. I jumped down into this dumpster and then climbed up a pipe to the next checkpoint. There were only a few rooftops separating me from this checkpoint, and then from there I jumped down into this thin wire. After more pliers and lashes, I got to the next checkpoint. I went across whatever this thing is, then one last jump to get to the end of the challenge. And after totally not 7 attempts, I got 2 minutes and 2 seconds. While free roaming, I found some PKs, so I killed them. I also found some mutation samples. After more parkour, I met up with Hakon, and we planned a way to get to the center. I waited for night and then cleared all the zombies away from the hatch. After unlocking it, my game crashed. When I loaded back in, I had to do the whole thing again, except something was a bit different when this zombie died. Anyway, after clearing the hatch and going inside, I looked in my inventory, and I found a gun. After going down the hatch, I vented.
Among Us.
I snuck through the tunnels and then beated a horde of angry children. After getting to the UV light in the nick of time, I set a zombie on fire, and I got soap. The PKs find me and they kindly take me in. We meet one of the head PKs and he tells us that someone called Commander Lucas was murdered. He wants us to find the Lazarus, Lucas's set of brass knuckles. I tell Hakon and he says he knows someone who sells stolen goods. So I go out looking for some virgin called Hubie. When he sees me, he starts running away. When I find the little bugger, he says someone called Mia tried to sell him the Lazarus. I go to get the Lazarus, but it turns out Mia is about 8, even better. While running around, I see a man, so I decide to kill him, as I won't forget how they tried to hang me. The commander says I need to find the killer, and that someone carved out Lucas's tattoo. I tell Hakon, and he says I need to go to the bazaar and gain Sophie's trust. Before I do that, I break into a dark hollow. I loot everything inside, and then hit little boy Timmy. While looking through people's windows, I see a forsaken store. I go down and kill volatiles to get guns. I find the virgin Hubie and he tells me he needs help. I go to the car park filled with zombies to get some supplies. Stealth ends up failing and I have to retreat. I then wait for them to all fall back asleep. Once they were dealt with, I looted the rest of that area and killed a howler. And from its body I found this mean-ass gun. After going through bins like a raccoon, I searched for the area I was supposed to go to. After jumping over a fence, I found the GRE containers. I took an immunity booster and then looted the rest of the stuff. After finally finding my way to the exit, I ran back out of the car park. However, this gang is waiting for me and they want the supplies. Things get heated and there ends up being quite a kerfuffle. However, I use my gun on the big guys to take them out. Then I go back to the bazaar and stare at kids. Thank God there's no one here to stop me when I take them back. Thanks for watching, please subscribe if you enjoyed. Liking does nothing, so I really couldn't care less about what you do with that hand. This video took weeks to make, so if you enjoyed, let me know, and I can play more games like Dying Light 2, Ark Survival Evolved, and maybe some Hitman 3. It only just occurred to me how much footage I have of this child.